Good morning, everybody. Excuse me, something got stuck here. Good morning, 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 girl. Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited. Excuse me. Yeah, welcome to another episode of The Breakfast Show, Marisha LaShay. I am Marisha LaShay, your host. Welcome to an amazing show. If this is your first show that you've ever seen, welcome. If you have been in before, come on in. You know how this go. You know how we do. First and foremost, give an honor to God who's the head of my life. I am Marisha LaShay. I've already introduced myself as the host. So let's continue to keep going. I always like to just give thanks to God, who is the head of my life, because I know that this show is not possible without Him. Second thing that I always like to do is to provide an overview of what has been going on. The last time I seen you guys, of course, was in November. I keep saying this because I want you to know that that was the last time I seen you prior to this season of The Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay actually coming into full effect for this month that we're currently in. Second thing, I have locked down 17 countries. Okay, giving honor to God because I know that this is not possible without Him. So I always just like to give honor to God because I know that it is not by chance that He is doing this, but He is using me as a vessel to be able to reach other people based on my platform. And I'm thankful for that. Second thing, well, I already gave you my second thing that I have 17 countries. Third thing, I have 1,500 listeners. I went from 1,400 to 15. And slow progression is always good because, again, life is happening. You could be doing so much more, but God is still showing up for this platform and everything that I have been doing over these course of years. Because I've tried to give it up and I've tried to give up when things did not work out. And I'm just being transparent because the secret is to keep going no matter what. And that's what I've been doing. I have a lot to celebrate, but I'm gonna save all the celebration to later in the year because November is the big five. I'm gonna be gonna be the breakfast show Marisha LaShay. It's gonna be 5 years old. Five, baby. We still tolerable. Now we going on to kindergarten at that age of 5. So y'all get ready with me. We gonna be ready for that in November. Get your party shoes on. More details coming about that. But overall, thank you guys for being supporters. Thank you for loving me. And thank you guys for just giving me all that you got, being able to share my show with other people. If you have, that is totally fine. If you have not, let's start doing that so we can continuously to build this community. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right on in to one of my favorite parts, and that is being able to check on myself mentally. It's called a mental check-in from a scale of 1 to 10, one being the worst day of your life, and 10 being the best. Okay. Can I be below a 1 and above a 10? Absolutely, you can. If you are below a 1, you could be a negative. You could be above a 10. You could be off the scale. And that is totally fine because nobody's going to be able to tell you how to do what you do and how to feel. So with that being said, when I woke up this morning, I was in a place of contentment. And I'm a 9. I'm definitely a 9 today because, again, blessings are flowing and you just thankful for that. I'm thankful for that because God didn't have to choose me to do it too. And I want to just always just keep honoring Him and keep lifting Him up. Thank you for allowing me to be in my right mind. Thank you for me being in the land of the living and not being viewed as if we at my funeral. That's the blessing. Okay. So today is Saturday. Happy Saturday. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for I see y'all been watching. I've been getting views. Let's keep it going. Whatever platform that you are on, be sure to drop that comment below. How you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? I share with y'all that I am a 9 because I'm just in a place of fulfillment and contentment with what God is doing with me. So with that being said, the question for today, 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 the question for today. It's going to be, what is a drug? What is a drug? Mm. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this. Y'all know I always love me a good definition. So I got a couple for you all today. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a drug is a medicine or other substance which has a psychological effect when ingested or otherwise introduced into the body. Now, this was in context of a drug being a noun. When we talk about a drug in the context of it being a noun, we also know that it could be plural with saying drugs. Okay. So a drug is, in other terms, they think about it as medicine. It could be medical, it could be medication, a remedy, a cure. Okay, here's my next definition of drug. A drug is a substance taken for its narcotic or stimulant effect, typically illegally. Okay. So when we think about this narcotic, stimulant, hallucinogen, addictive drug, or even recreational, this is interesting to me. We could also use drug in the context of speaking about in a third person, in regards to like drugs. Drugs, in terms that we administer drugs to someone to induce their stupor or insensibility, which is another definition of drug, which is what, according to Oxford Dictionary. Anesthesiologists give you anesthetics, and when they do that, you are out of there, highs the drugs. There are also types of phases that I want to talk about in regards to drugs, is to do drugs and on drugs. When we say drugs, we're talking about illegal drugs. Are they on drugs? Anything that was not prescribed by the actual doctor, it will be illegal drugs. People who do not drink or smoke often engage in drugs. Same thing if you're on drugs, you're taking medically prescribed drugs for medical conditions. Okay. So when people say, oh, you on drugs, she was on drugs for years, those drugs are not limited to just those that you were prescribed for medical reasons versus you using them as a recreation to fulfill a void or so. Okay. Now, according to the National Cancer Institute, they define drug as being any substance other than food that is used to prevent, that is used to prevent, that is used to diagnose, that is used to diagnose, that is used to treat, that is used to treat, or relieve symptoms of a disease or abnormal conditions. Okay. Drugs can also affect how the brain and the rest of the body work and changes in your mood, your awareness, your thoughts, your feelings, or even behavior. Okay. And most of the times when we think about drugs, the most common I just want to share, and then I'm going to move on, is marijuana, painkillers, and cocaine, according to America's rehab campuses. Now, I want to go back to the National Cancer Institute definition of the word drug because they use these four words: prevent, diagnose, treat, and relive. Since I'm sorry, relieve. I said relive. It's to relieve symptoms of a disease or abnormal conditions. So I got to thinking about these words, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, what do you exactly mean about prevent? So if you're gonna prevent something, you're gonna try to stop it. So when I think about drugs, are we saying that we're using drugs to prevent any medical condition that could possibly happen before they do? Okay, to diagnose. Of course, we know we need to see a medical professional. We cannot diagnose ourselves because we're just not qualified to do that. However, I know some of us tend to know and recognize previous symptoms that we've seen before with our body, and we could kind of know, okay, this is a urinary tract infection. This is my asthma acting up. This is allergies taking place, you know. So with that being said, I did a little bit more digging and I pulled up the top 5 diseases that require the use of drugs. Here we go, y'all. Get ready. Top 5: diabetes. You heard about that, OD, OD. And there are 2 types. You have type 1, which is dealing with your insulin resistance, and you have to be on those insulin shots, and take them as you are prescribed. And then you have diabetes type 2, which often just requires you to manage your sugar levels and kind of change your lifestyle. And I just kind of want to put this out here. No, I am not a medical professional. So don't come on here talking about, oh, this is what was told to me. This is information used for informational purposes only, not to diagnose or tell you to change what you are currently doing, because our people will get on here and say, according to Marisha LaShay, baby, no, I'm not a medical professional yet. I thank you, but honey, let's just get that out of there right now. Let me continue. Heart disease, heart disease, heart disease. That means this heart right here. Heart disease, honey. Heart disease. Cardiac, cardiac. Okay. Hypertension, hypertension. Honey, high blood pressure. Lord. Okay, moving on. Arthritis. A lot of our grandparents, oh, Arthur visiting us. I got to give me a pain pill for my arthritis. And last but not least, cancer. We've seen cancer in so many forms. When we think about cancer, we like, pause for the cause. Because cancer is taking us out like it ain't no tomorrow. That These are the 5 diseases. But I also have 3 abnormal conditions. Here we go, y'all. Brace yourself. Depression. Okay. We all know what depression looks like, what it sounds like, but it differs in other people. Anxiety. Baby, our babies are getting anxiety from different issues that they are dealing with day to day. And I've never seen so many different cases of anxiety. I said I had 3 abnormal conditions. I have about 2 more, which will put me at a grand total of 4. Migraines, migraines, migraines. I myself have migraines as well. I thank God that I haven't had to take like the medication, but I from time to time I do keep my migraine journal. Um, y'all, I didn't lie again. I have a total of 5 abnormal conditions. Okay, so a migraine was 3, COP is 4, and that's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And last but not least, allergies. So those who have sinuses, those who are dealing with like when pollen hits the ground, your ears are itching, your throat is scratchy, ears itching, throat itching. I mean, it's just a mess. Eyes watering, turning red. All of us are affected by these different things in different ways. And if you don't have any of these abnormal conditions or diseases, you are doing good. Keep doing what you're doing, honey, because I wouldn't wish it on nobody. So, with that being said, there are drugs that are being prescribed for these particular disease and abnormal conditions. And here it is. I'm sitting here like thinking to myself because I've known people with all of these. The diabetes, my dad, but my dad he's a success story because he was a type 1 diabetic and that man has lost so much weight. He's a success story. So you got to check him out, especially when you talk about eating for your blood type. Baby, that is life changing. I'm going to keep y'all posted on that because I just actually ordered my blood kit so I could get my blood type, so I could begin to eat according to my blood type, so I could just kind of eliminate any of these diseases that run throughout my family, which they do. Heart disease. You know that you could catch heart disease. I have sleep apnea. So baby, that could definitely sneak up on me. But some of my relatives in Atlanta, he had heart disease. So he was gonna have to need a transplant. Rest in peace. He did not make it. He lived a good life though. Three, hypertension. When I talk about these diseases of hypertension, they're giving you your over the counter meds. You got to get these meds every month. What are we going to do to change hypertension? It's not just about eating correctly, it's about us being able to get the knowledge and changing our mindset. Okay? Get this in our head. You told us we were diagnosed, you prescribed the medication to us. What do we need to do as we're reflecting to move forward? Oh, I'm just going to take my medication. Oh, that's good enough for you? Well, I don't know what else to do. Let's get and seek out other alternatives. Because here it is, everybody's making money off of your back. The doctor's making money because they're going to keep prescribing. You're going to ride up to your pharmacist. They going to keep, oh, would you like to upgrade to a 90-day? Instead of you having your 30-day supply, baby, they finna hook you up with your 90-day supply. So when are we going to start waking up and saying that taking these drugs is not the only way for us to turn this around in the Black community when it comes down to our health? It's about being able to know and educate ourselves. I'm not saying that the doctors are wrong, but what I'm saying is it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion. It doesn't hurt for you to get on Miss Google and begin to figure out what are your other alternatives. Just don't say yes, ma'am, thank you, ma'am, and go on. Because again, something could be happening. There are other alternatives of medicine and things that you could do to turn these things around. We're not going to keep letting people make money off our back because we got to wake up and do something and educate our family. We don't need to wait until Aunt Louisa and is in the hospital, Auntie Feifei, and she got to get her leg amputated because she got diabetes and she going blind and she won't put the devil's bird down. And, we've been battling this and the battle's not ours, it's the Lord. And listen, trust and believe. I'm not a saint. My family is not a saint. I come from a long line of different things. I probably was like the only one in my family with the sleep apnea. Okay, baby, I'm still working on it. God is still good for me. But coming back to it, y'all, we can't be scared. We cannot be scared. We got to be in the know and we got to do something for ourselves. Arthritis. A lot of older people deal with arthritis. A lot of younger people are starting to get it due to the mobility in their arms and, just certain things. Cancer. Mm. What can I do not to get cancer? Listen, there's so many factors. The diet, the environment that you may have been exposed to, the genetics of you being able to get the cancer. Why are we running to the drugs? Is the question. Ask the doctor, what else can I do? What else can I do? Can we hold off on the drugs for a second? Can I get a second opinion? Can I do some research? It's just like at some point, we just can't keep going along with the program. We got to shake it up a little bit. We got to change the channel. We got to do some research. We got to get into those wellness groups. We got to go get this checkup. But then here's going to be the bigger part. Do you even have health insurance to be able to navigate you into having access to all of this? That's the question. That's the question. That's the thing that have you wondering. And when we talk about depression, did you sign up so you could meet with your counselor? So you could talk about techniques and things for your depression? Oh, they just wrote me a pill and that was it. No. Ain't nothing wrong with asking questions. As my grandma would say, they could either say yes or no, or they could either tell you something that you're going to be educated about, or you're going to go find the answers yourself. Again, with those people that are dealing with anxiety, popping the pill is the answer. I failed to mention what can drugs do to our bodies. It messes with our organs. Sometimes our bodies don't respond well, and they may have us nauseous. They might have us, something going on with our memory. Everybody, that's why I always be checking my grandparents' pill bottles, my older relative pill bottles. What are you taking? What is this? How's this making you feel? Are you okay? Have you consulted with your doctor? Because sometimes they just forcing stuff on people because you're not asking. You're not stopping them. You're not advocating for yourself. So here's what I want you to do. 3 things. One, I want you to be sure that you have health insurance, to have the access. Get that health insurance. Get that health insurance. Get that health insurance. Second thing I want you to do. Second thing I want you to do is if you have access to the health insurance, going to the doctor. Go to the doctor and get that checkup. Ask those questions. Ask those questions. If something does not feel right to you, get a second opinion. Get a second opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. So I told y'all, get that health care. Go to the actual doctor. Go to the actual doctor. Ask your questions. Getting enlightened and getting that second opinion if everything doesn't sit right with you. And third thing, after you have did the two, ask yourself, what are you going to do to change your story? What are you going to do to change your health around? Not what the doctor did. What are you going to do? The accountability piece. What are you going to do with what you know and what you were educated about, y'all? That's what I'm talking about. And we need to talk about this a little bit more. And we need to talk about getting out there exercising. And we need to talk about food. We need to talk about learning and educating ourselves about our bodies and not just saying yes to whatever is happening in the moment. So, y'all, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I know that I went real deep with going from what is a drug, attaching it to different diseases, attaching it to different abnormal conditions, and giving you a call to action to do 3 things. Do not wait until it's too late. Do not wait until I'm up here trying to have to come see you in the hospital because you did not take accountability for what needs to happen. And I love you, and I'm not mad at you, but I'm asking you to get a little bit more urgent with you. So, with that being said, I love y'all. I will talk to y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. Mwah.